Picture this: a colleague who constantly boasts about their exceptional listening skills, yet consistently interrupts you mid-sentence, steering every conversation back to themselves. What if the more you think you know yourself, the more you are actually drifting away from genuine self-understanding? Understanding this paradox is not just an intellectual exercise. It's crucial for fostering genuine personal growth, building authentic relationships, and avoiding the pitfalls of self-deception. The illusion of complete self-knowledge affects individuals across all walks of life, often manifesting as missed opportunities in both career and love life, fractured relationships, and a distorted sense of reality. We will reveal the hidden dangers of clinging to a fixed self-image, while showcasing the profound benefits of embracing the ever-changing nature of the self. This video is a journey of self-discovery, where we will explore the paradoxical nature of self-knowledge through the lens of philosophical concepts, psychological insights, and actionable strategies. To begin, it's essential to acknowledge that the very notion of a static, fully knowable self is highly questionable. Friedrich Nietzsche challenged this traditional view, suggesting that the self is not a fixed entity waiting to be discovered, but rather a continuous becoming, a dynamic process of transformation. This perspective implies that self-knowledge is not a destination to be reached, but an ongoing journey of exploration and adaptation. Complementing this idea is Carl Jung's concept of the shadow self, the unconscious aspects of our personality, encompassing repressed desires, unacceptable thoughts, and uncomfortable emotions that we often deny or project onto others. The shadow is not inherently evil. It simply represents the parts of ourselves that we find difficult to accept. Recognizing and integrating the shadow is a crucial step toward genuine self-knowledge, yet it's a step that many are reluctant to take. Indeed, much of our resistance to self-knowledge stems from our inherent resistance to the unconscious. Acknowledging the shadow self and the myriad unconscious influences that shape our behavior can be a daunting and uncomfortable task. We often prefer to cling to a flattering self-image, even if it's based on illusion. This is where psychological defense mechanisms come into play. Defense mechanisms, such as denial, refusing to acknowledge reality, projection, attributing our own unacceptable qualities to others, and rationalization, creating false justifications for our behavior, distort our perception of ourselves and the world around us. For example, someone who constantly criticizes others for being lazy might be projecting their own repressed feelings of inadequacy. Or someone who consistently makes excuses for their failures might be using rationalization to protect their ego from the pain of admitting fault. So, why do we often struggle to see ourselves clearly? What are the hidden forces that shape our self-perception, often without our conscious awareness? These forces, often rooted in past experiences, unresolved inner conflicts, and societal conditioning, exert a significant influence on our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. By recognizing recurring patterns of self-deceptive behaviors, we can begin to dismantle the illusion of complete self-knowledge and embark on a path toward greater self-awareness. In the sections that follow, we'll delve into practical strategies for engaging in shadow work, integrating the unconscious aspects of our personality, and ultimately embracing the dynamic, ever-revolving nature of the self. But how exactly do we begin to recognize these hidden forces within ourselves? This is where we delve into the profound and often unsettling concept of the shadow self. Jung described the shadow as the dark side of the personality, the repository of all the qualities we disown or deem unacceptable. However, the shadow is not simply a collection of negative traits. It also contains untapped potential, hidden creativity, and instincts that, when integrated, can lead to greater wholeness. Consider the example of someone who prides themselves on being rational and logical, often dismissing emotions as irrational or weak. Their shadow might contain a deep well of suppressed feelings, including both joy and sorrow, that, if accessed, could enrich their life and relationships. Or think of the individual who always tries to be agreeable and nice. repressing any sign of anger or assertiveness. This repressed anger doesn't simply vanish. It festers in the shadow, often manifesting as passive-aggressive behavior, resentment, or even physical ailments. Understanding this, it becomes clear that ignoring the shadow is not only detrimental to self-knowledge, but also harmful to our overall well-being. These disowned aspects of ourselves are often kept in check by various defense mechanisms, psychological strategies that protect us from uncomfortable truths. Denial, as we've mentioned, involves refusing to acknowledge reality. Imagine a person with a severe alcohol problem who insists they can stop drinking any time they want, despite mounting evidence to the contrary. Projection, on the other hand, involves attributing our own unacceptable qualities to others. A classic example is someone who is deeply insecure about their intelligence, constantly accusing others of being stupid. Rationalization provides seemingly logical reasons to justify unacceptable behavior. A person who cheats on their partner might rationalize it by saying their partner was neglecting them or that everyone does it. Displacement involves redirecting emotions from a threatening target to a less threatening one. An employee who is angry at their boss might go home and take it out on their spouse or children. Each of these defense mechanisms acts as a veil, obscuring our true selves from our own view, preventing us from acknowledging our flaws and working towards genuine self-improvement. Adding another layer to this complex interplay is Jung's concept of the persona. The persona is the social mask we wear, the image we present to the world. While the persona serves a necessary function, allowing us to navigate social situations and meet societal expectations, it can also become a barrier to self-knowledge. We may become so identified with our persona that we lose touch with our authentic selves, conforming to roles and expectations that don't truly reflect who we are. In the age of social media, this phenomenon is amplified. Individuals meticulously craft their online personas, presenting idealized versions of themselves to the world. The curated images, carefully selected posts, and filtered narratives create a distorted reflection, both for the audience and for the individuals themselves. This constant image crafting can lead to a profound disconnect between the online persona and the authentic self, further hindering the pursuit of genuine self-knowledge. So, how can we begin to pierce through these layers of illusion and recognize the manifestations of our shadow in our daily lives? One powerful technique is to pay attention to our emotional reactions. Recurring negative emotions, such as anger, envy, or shame, can be indicators of shadow material seeking to be acknowledged. Compulsive behaviors, like overeating, excessive shopping, or addiction, can also be attempts to numb or distract ourselves from underlying shadow issues. Strong, seemingly irrational reactions to certain people or situations often point to projected shadow qualities. The traits that irritate us most in others are often reflections of aspects we disown in ourselves. To begin this process, try this journaling prompt. Describe a time you felt irrationally angry. What underlying fear or insecurity might that anger have been masking? This kind of focused self-inquiry is the first step toward bringing unconscious content into the light of awareness. However, introspection alone has its limits. It's like trying to see your own face without a mirror. You can only get so far. While self-reflection is valuable, it's prone to bias and blind spots. We are often too close to ourselves to see our own patterns and distortions clearly. This is where external feedback becomes essential. Social mirroring refers to the process by which we learn about ourselves through the reactions and reflections of others. From a young age, we rely on the feedback of our parents, peers, and teachers to develop a sense of self. As adults, we continue to be shaped by the ways others perceive and respond to us. Seeking feedback from trusted sources, friends, family members, mentors, or therapists can provide valuable insights into our blind spots and help us to see ourselves more objectively. But it's crucial to be discerning about the sources of our feedback. Surrounding ourselves with people who only reinforce our existing beliefs and validate our self-image can create an echo chamber that prevents growth and self-discovery. Consider online groups dedicated to conspiracy theories. Members reinforce each other's beliefs, creating a distorted view of reality and further solidifying their pre-existing biases. This is why it's essential to actively seek out diverse perspectives and to be open to hearing constructive criticism, even when it's uncomfortable. Learning to differentiate between helpful feedback, which is intended to support our growth, and malicious attacks, which are intended to tear us down, is crucial to navigate this process effectively. This brings us to the challenging, yet ultimately rewarding, process of shadow work, intentionally integrating our shadow self. It requires courage, honesty, and above all, self-compassion, since it involves confronting aspects of ourselves that we may have spent years trying to suppress. One of the most effective techniques for shadow integration is journaling. Writing about our shadow experiences, exploring the emotions and beliefs associated with our disowned qualities, can help us to bring unconscious content into conscious awareness. Try this specific exercise. Write a letter to your shadow self. Ask it questions, express your feelings, and listen to its response. Another powerful technique is active imagination, a Jungian method of engaging in dialogue with the unconscious. This involves entering a relaxed state, visualizing a shadow figure, and interacting with it as if it were a real person. Through this process, we can gain valuable insights into the motivations and desires of our shadow self. Therapy, particularly Jungian analysis, can also provide a safe and supportive space to explore shadow material and work towards integration. Throughout this process, self-compassion is critical. It's okay to have flaws and imperfections. Embracing these aspects is essential for wholeness. It means treating ourselves with the same kindness, care, and understanding that we would offer to a friend who is struggling. Remember that integrating the shadow is not about eliminating the dark side of our personality. It's about accepting and integrating all aspects of ourselves, both light and dark. However, there are potential pitfalls to be aware of. One common mistake is avoiding difficult emotions. Shadow work can bring up painful memories and uncomfortable feelings, and it's tempting to push these away. Another pitfall is idealizing the shadow self, romanticizing the dark side, and embracing destructive behaviors. True integration requires a balanced approach, acknowledging both the positive and negative aspects of the shadow and finding healthy ways to express and integrate them. Ultimately, self-knowledge is not a destination, but a lifelong journey. As Nietzsche suggested, the self is not a fixed entity, but a continuous becoming, constantly evolving and transforming in response to our experiences, relationships, and choices. Embracing this dynamic nature of the self requires letting go of rigid self-definitions and fixed identities. Clinging to a static self-image can lead to stagnation and prevent us from growing and evolving. The more we try to control our self-image, the further we get from genuine self-understanding. True self-knowledge requires surrendering to the process of becoming, trusting that we are capable of adapting and evolving in response to whatever life throws our way. As you continue on your path, embrace the paradox of self-knowledge, knowing that the more you explore, the more you will discover, and the more you discover, the more you will realize how much more there is to learn. Continue to embrace the perspective shift, always evolving, always learning. As you continue on your path, embrace the paradox of self-knowledge, knowing that the more you explore, the more you will discover, and the more you discover, the more you will realize how much more there is to learn. Continue to embrace the perspective shift, always evolving, always learning. Genuine self-understanding arises not from achieving a static perception of who you are, but from embracing the continuous process of becoming, as Nietzsche so aptly proposed. This, perhaps, is the ultimate paradox, that surrendering to the unknown is the truest path to knowing yourself. By acknowledging that the self is not a fixed entity, but a fluid process, shaped by our experiences, interactions, and reflections, we can free ourselves from the trap of seeking a definitive answer. What if the secret to understanding ourselves lies not in finding a final destination, but in reveling in the dynamism of the voyage? Consider the interconnectedness of the shadow self, external feedback, and the ever-changing nature of who you are. Integrating these elements is essential for a more nuanced and authentic self-perception. The shadow, once confronted and understood, can be a source of untapped creativity and strength. Constructive criticism, even when difficult to hear, provides invaluable insights into our blind spots. The acceptance that we are constantly evolving allows us to adapt, grow, and embrace new possibilities. By weaving these threads together, we break free from the illusion of complete self-understanding and move towards a more genuine appreciation of our complex and multifaceted selves. Uncertainty, often viewed as a weakness, can be a strength. Embracing the unknown allows for greater adaptability, resilience, and openness to new experiences. When we accept that we don't have all the answers, we become more receptive to learning, growing, and evolving. This mindset allows us to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and to find joy in the unexpected twists and turns along the way. Think of it as sailing. A skilled sailor doesn't fight the wind, but uses it to their advantage, adjusting course and adapting to the ever-changing conditions. Similarly, embracing uncertainty allows us to navigate the seas of life with greater skill and grace. The willingness to explore new territories, both internal and external, expands our horizons and deepens our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Shift your perspective. Self-understanding is not a destination, but a continuous, evolving practice. It is a lifelong commitment to self-reflection, learning, and growth. This journey requires patience, curiosity, and a willingness to embrace our imperfections. Just as a gardener tends to their garden, constantly weeding, watering, and pruning, we must tend to our inner selves, nurturing our strengths and addressing our weaknesses. It's a process that never truly ends, but the rewards greater self-awareness, authenticity, and fulfillment are well worth the effort. This continuous striving for self-improvement, fueled by a genuine desire to understand oneself better, is what ultimately leads to a richer, more meaningful life. Understanding oneself deeply allows for more genuine relationships and a more fulfilling life. When we are honest with ourselves about our strengths, weaknesses, and desires, we are better able to connect with others on a deeper level. Authenticity fosters trust, intimacy, and genuine connection. By understanding our own needs and boundaries, we can build healthier and more fulfilling relationships, both personally and professionally. Consider the difference between someone who presents a carefully constructed image to the world and someone who is genuine and transparent. Which person are you more likely to trust and connect with on a deeper level? Authenticity, born from self-knowledge, is the key to building meaningful connections with others. Recognizing the patterns of self-deception and defense mechanisms allows individuals to break free from limiting beliefs and behaviors. When we become aware of the ways in which we distort reality to protect ourselves from discomfort, we can begin to challenge those patterns and develop healthier coping mechanisms. This newfound awareness can lead to significant improvements in various areas of life, from career advancement to relationship satisfaction. Imagine an employee who constantly blames others for their mistakes versus an employee who takes responsibility for their actions and learns from their failures. Which employee is more likely to succeed and advance in their career? Breaking free from self-deception is essential for personal growth and professional success. Embracing the dynamic self is foundational for building resilience and adaptability in the face of life's challenges. Those who are comfortable with change are better equipped to navigate adversity and thrive in uncertain times. When we view ourselves as works in progress, we are less likely to be derailed by setbacks and more likely to bounce back from failures. This mindset allows us to approach challenges with a sense of curiosity and openness, seeing them as opportunities for growth rather than threats to our self-image. Think of a tree that bends with the wind versus a tree that resists it. Which tree is more likely to survive a storm? Adaptability, born from an understanding of our dynamic self, is essential for weathering the storms of life. The journey of self-discovery involves embracing one's imperfections and accepting oneself fully, flaws and all. Self-compassion is an essential aspect for mental well-being. It means treating ourselves with the same kindness, care, and understanding that we would offer to a friend who is struggling. Accepting our imperfections allows us to let go of self-criticism and self-doubt, freeing us to focus on our strengths and pursue our goals with greater confidence. Remember that no one is perfect, and that our imperfections are what make us unique and human. By embracing our flaws, we can cultivate a deeper sense of self-acceptance and live more authentically. What if the more you think you know yourself, the further you are actually drifting away from genuine self-understanding? The answer lies in embracing the process of becoming rather than seeking a fixed identity. By acknowledging that we are constantly evolving, we can remain open to new experiences and perspectives, allowing for continuous growth and self-discovery. To recognize growth and change in yourself, try tracking your emotional reactions, reflecting on past experiences, or seeking feedback from trusted sources. Over time, you'll begin to see patterns in your behavior and thought processes, gaining valuable insights into your evolving self. While complete self-understanding may be unattainable, the pursuit of it is still invaluable. The key is to find meaning and purpose in the journey itself. By setting meaningful goals, cultivating strong relationships, and engaging in activities that bring us joy, we can create a life that is both fulfilling and meaningful, even in the face of uncertainty. Remember that the journey is just as important as the destination, and that the process of self-discovery can be its own reward. Self-acceptance is the ultimate form of liberation. Be kind to yourself and embrace the process of becoming who you are meant to be. It is about letting go of self-criticism and self-doubt and embracing your unique strengths and qualities. By accepting ourselves fully, flaws and all, we can free ourselves from the burden of self-judgment and live more authentically. Remember that you are worthy of love, respect, and happiness, just as you are. Embrace your imperfections, celebrate your strengths, and continue to grow and evolve into the best version of yourself. How does society shape our self-perception, and how can we resist harmful societal pressures? This opens up avenues for exploring the impact of culture, media, and social norms on self-identity. This exploration will be for another time. Potential areas for future exploration include delving deeper into specific defense mechanisms, exploring different shadow work techniques, or examining the impact of trauma on self-knowledge. I encourage you to engage with this content further by leaving comments, sharing your own experiences, or joining a community of like-minded individuals. Let us foster a sense of shared exploration and support. To continue your learning, I recommend books, articles, and other resources that you can use to deepen your understanding of self-knowledge and personal growth. Commit to lifelong self-discovery.